let me tell you something that took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out. The people telling you to wake up at 5 a.m., grind 16 hours a day, cut off your friends, skip family dinners, quit your job, and bet everything on your business idea, they lied to you. And the worst part, they lied to you on purpose. Because here's what nobody in the hustle culture space wants you to know. When you actually sit down and do the math, the real math, not the motivational poster math, the picture looks completely different from what they sell you on Instagram. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly 5 reasons why hustle culture is one of the biggest financial lies being sold to our generation right now. We're talking about the math on your time, the math on your odds, the math on your investments, who is actually profiting from this advice, and why the people you see succeeding are not the full story. Stick around because by the end of this video, you're going to see the hustle culture in a way you cannot unsee. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the most basic math that hustle culture conveniently never puts in their content, the odds. Because hustle culture sells you this idea if you just work hard enough and sacrifice enough, success is basically guaranteed. Just outwork everyone. Just stay consistent. Just believe in yourself hard enough and you will make it. But here's the stat that nobody is putting on their motivational Instagram post. 90% of startups fail. Read that again. 9 out of 10. So what hustle culture is actually asking you to do is log hundreds, if not thousands, of unpaid hours into a project that statistically has a 10% chance of working. I mean, I don't consider that a business strategy. That is pretty much a slot machine. And here's the part that really gets me. At least when you walk into a casino, you know you are gambling. You know the odds are against you. To go in with that understanding. But hustle culture has convinced an entire generation, my generation, that they are being disciplined and productive and building their future. When really, they're just spinning the wheel and hoping to win the lottery. Meanwhile, the person who took the boring, stable job, showed up on Monday, got paid on Friday, and did that again the following week, the probability of your salary hitting your account at the end of the month is not 10%. It is basically 100%. I'm not saying do not take risks. I'm saying be honest about what the risk actually is before you quit your job, drain your savings, and tell everyone that you're going to become a millionaire in 12 months. Know what game you are playing before you sit down at the table. Okay, so let's say you hear the statistic and you think, yeah, but I know people who made it. I see success stories everywhere. And you're right, you do see them everywhere. But here is the problem with that. You are only seeing the people who won. This is called survivorship bias, and it is one of the most powerful psychological tricks that hustle culture uses on you without you even realizing it. Think about it like this. Imagine there are like 100 people who all quit their jobs on the same day to start a business. They all grind for 3 years and they all sacrifice their relationships, they set their savings, their mental health, their sleep. 10 of them make it, and those 10 are everywhere on the internet. Podcast interviews, YouTube videos, Instagram posts, Twitter threads about how they did it. But what about the other 90? You do not see them. They're not making content about how they grind for 3 years and ended up back at a job anyway, Except now they're 3 years behind on savings, 3 years behind on investing, 3 years behind on career progression. And in some cases, dealing with that, they took on to fund the dream. This is actually what happened to me. So the algorithm does not promote the failure stories. These do not bring likes or comments. So your brain looks at the internet and thinks, wow, everyone who hustles makes it. When the reality is you're watching a very carefully curated highlight reel of 10% while the 90% quietly move on with their lives. It is like watching only lottery winners on TV and then deciding that buying lottery tickets is a solid financial strategy. Come on. The math was always there. You just were not being shown all of it. Now here is where it gets really interesting because this is the math that hustle culture absolutely does not want you to do. While the hustler is pouring every dollar, every hour, and every ounce of energy back into their business, hoping it eventually works, the person with a stable job is doing something quietly powerful. They're investing. Think about it like this. You have a stable job. Every month you put aside a consistent amount, whatever it is, into your investments. Nothing crazy, just consistent. And you contribute to your pension, you build your emergency fund, you let compound interest do its thing. Now compare that to someone who spent those same years putting every dollar back into a business that statistically had a 90% chance of failing. The math on compound interest over 10 years on consistent monthly investments versus zero investments because every dollar went back into a failing business is brutal. And here's the thing that really hits different when you think about it. The 9 to 5 person is not just winning on a monthly income. They're winning on net worth trajectory. Every month that passes where the hustler makes $0 is not just a month of lost income. It is a month of lost compounding. And compounding is one of the things in personal finance that you generally cannot get back once you lost it. Time in the market beats time in the grind every single time. I mean, your boring, stable job is not just paying your bills right now. I mean, it's quietly building your future while you sleep. Okay, so now we need to talk about the most uncomfortable math of all, because everything I've shown you so far raises one obvious question. If the odds are this bad, if survivorship bias is this real, if the compounding math is this clear, then why is hustle culture still everywhere? Who benefits from you believing this? The people telling you to quit your job and hustle, how are they actually making their money? In most cases, it is not from the business they're telling you to build. It is from selling you the course about building that business. It is from selling you the coaching program. It is from selling you the community membership. It is from the YouTube ad revenue on the video telling you to quit your job. Think about that for a second. The hustle they're actually profiting from is selling hustle culture to you. That is the real business model. I mean, it is genius, honestly, because the worse your results are, the more you think you need their next products to fix it. They have zero financial incentive to tell you the truth about the odds. They have every financial incentive to keep you believing that you are just one course, one coaching call, one mastermind away from making it. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it. The next time you see someone with a Lamborghini in their thumbnail tells you to quit your job and bet everything on yourself, ask yourself one simple question. How are they actually making their money right now? The answer will tell you everything. And look, I want to be clear about something before I finish. I'm not telling you that ambition is bad. I'm not telling you to settle for mediocrity or stop dreaming about building something of your own. What I'm telling you is that the version of hustle culture being sold to our generation right now is built on bad math, survivorship bias, and people who profit directly from keeping you on the grind. The slot machine odds of startup success, the 90% you never see on the internet, the compounding wealth your stable income is quietly building, the gurus who make their money selling you the dream, not living in it. When you add all of that up, the picture looks very different from what they'll sell you. You are allowed to have a stable job and also have a life. You're allowed to invest consistently, build a real experience, protect your relationships and your mental health, and still be working towards something bigger on the side. That is not settling. That is actually the smarter play. They lied to you about hustle culture, and now you have seen the math. So drop a comment and let me know what you think. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, send it to them. See you in the next one.